Yo, what is good YouTube? I'm Richard Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the Xtep JLin 1, which is Jeremy Lin's first signature shoe. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below, and also hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the JLin 1 features like this radial traction pattern with some lines intersecting throughout it, kind of forming like almost a grid or like a modified herringbone traction pattern. And the traction on this shoe, I would say overall is pretty good. If you are playing on your cleaner courts, you really won't run into any problems. However, if you are playing on any courts with a moderate amount of dust, you will probably be sliding to a stop, and that is just not what you want. You're gonna have to maintain consistent wiping if you want some good stops, but then again, you still probably will slide to a stop. So yeah, this is definitely not the shoe I would use to play on your dustier courts. However, if you are playing on those cleaner courts, you should be fine. As far as outdoor use goes, I actually have been using these outdoors as well, and the traction outdoors I would say is good. It didn't really matter, which outdoor court I was playing on. This had really good traction and I was stopping really hard. In terms of the durability, I think it's fine. The rubber is pretty hard, so if you are going to use this, just for outdoor use, I would say that you're still pretty good. But yeah, definitely the traction on this shoe performed better outdoors than it did indoors, especially on the dustier courts. But overall, I would still say that the traction is pretty good. Just make sure you watch out if you are playing on those dusty courts. So moving on to the cushion, I'm not exactly sure, what this cushion is. Xtep doesn't really have any information, but it's just, some sort of probably EVA midsole. And the cushion in here is actually not that bad. In the heel, you do actually get some compression, which is nice, but I wouldn't say you get like, a lot of feedback from it. It's more just like a softer feeling. Whereas up in the forefoot, it is caged. So it's definitely more dead. It's caged on the lateral side and on the medial side over here. So yeah, like I said, it's definitely a more dead feeling. You get more responsiveness and court feel out of it. So in my personal opinion, this is definitely, a cushion setup more catered for guards. If you want to be quick on your feet, this has got you covered. Just don't come into it expecting a lot of impact protection. But yeah, overall, I would say this is a pretty solid setup. Definitely could use a little more bounciness out of it, I would say. I think some slight bounce out of the cushion would have been nicer, but having it, being a little soft in the back is okay. But considering this is Xtep's first basketball shoe, I would say that this is a very solid first attempt. So moving on to the materials, the JLin 1, at least this colorway, features a textile upper, and I would say it's like pretty thick as well. I know other different colorways, they have like other materials like a mesh or something like that, but this one in particular does have this textile upper, which serves as the base for the entire shoe. And then on top of the textile, you actually have some like fuse overlays, but it's not just a regular fuse, it's almost like rubberized, so it feels a little bit better to the touch. And then, as you move towards the back, you do have that same rubberized fuse as well here. And then in the back over here, you do have like this external plastic heel counter. As you move towards the tongue, you do have just, a regular mesh tongue with adequate padding. I would say it's just enough where if you'd like to crank down your laces, you won't feel the shoelaces digging into your foot, which is really nice. And on top of that, you actually do have these wide flat laces just to make sure that you aren't digging the laces into your feet. From a quality standpoint, I don't think the textile is the most premium, but in terms of the performance, it does get the job done just fine. One thing to note about the materials though is, as you can see, there's like no ventilation. So if you are hooping in these outdoors, it will get pretty toasty in here. Moving on to the fit, I would say that the JLin 1s do run true to size. However, do not go by your US size, go by your Euro size, because the US sizing is completely off. So whatever, your standard US size is, convert it to your Euro size and then get your Euro size in the shoe. And I would say that you should be fine. I'm a slightly wide footer and I felt perfectly fine in here. I didn't have any pinching on the sides. I would actually say that the fit on the shoe is more wide foot friendly. So if you do have average feet, I'd still think you'll be okay going true to size. But if you have narrow feet, you may be swimming around up in the forefoot area just a little bit. So you may want to go down a size in your Euro size. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but in that case, it actually may be a little too short as well. So just keep that in mind if you do have narrow feet. But average footers, wide footers, I think going true to size is the way to go. But yeah, you know, as I said, as a slightly wide footer, I didn't have any pinching pain up in the forefoot area. The tongue and everything really does lie very nicely over my foot. The only issue for me is there is some dead space up in the toe box area, which you can kind of see here. You see like a little bit of bubbling, but honestly, like, it doesn't really affect you when you're, you know, just walking or, you know, actually playing in the shoe, I should say. But it is noticeable if, you know, you are looking for it. But I didn't really feel any like weird bunching up of materials as you take a step while you're playing in the shoe, but that is just something also to keep in mind. So moving on to the support, I actually didn't have any issues with the support in the shoe. Like I said, you do have this external heel counter with some adequate padding and sculpting in the heel area, so I didn't have any heel slippage at all. I didn't have any side-to-side movement on the footbed. My foot was pretty contained, and you know, there's this like huge rubber piece right here that actually acts as a cage for your foot too, so it's not sliding off the footbed. And then, you know, in terms of those lateral movements, you do have a very wide base. This midsole does protrude out and does act as an outrigger itself, so you are covered there as well. And then in terms of the torsional rigidity and stability, as you can see from the bottom, you do have this plastic shank plate right here, and this is pretty stiff. So yeah, you're covered there as well. I would say that the support in the shoe is good. You know, it pretty much has everything that you want and nothing that you don't. So yeah, the support in the JLin 1 was good. So the JLin 1 retails for $130, and you know, there are other colorways out right now that are on sale for even less than that. And for $130, you know, I would say that this is a pretty good performer. If you can get it for under retail, I would say go for it, especially if you're gonna play outdoors. Like, these are really good for outdoor use. Like I said, you know, I didn't have any traction issues. The only concern for outdoor use is, you know, the cushion is a little bit lacking. So if you are prone to, you know, like leg, knee pain, ankle pain, whatever, foot pain from playing outdoors, you'll probably have that as well, just because, you know, the cushion doesn't provide the most impact protection. But I feel like for outdoor use, at least for me, this is perfectly fine and gets the job done pretty well, I would say. So yeah, you know, outdoor use, I would say it's a must cop. If you're playing on cleaner courts, I would say it's a cop as well. But if you primarily play on dusty courts, you may want to stay away just because the traction issue on those dustier courts. But yeah, that is just something to keep in mind. I think this is a great first attempt at a basketball shoe from Xtep, especially, you know, for Jeremy Lin. You know, he's like one of the only Asian players to actually have a signature basketball shoe, which is really sick. So, you know, if you want to support the Asian community, support the Asian players, go ahead and pick up a pair of these. I'll actually leave a link in the description box down below so you all can buy a pair, and I'll actually give you all a coupon code that you can use as well for 15% off. That's RichieKim15. And like I said, I will leave the link down in the description box below if you all want to purchase a pair. Overall, very solid attempt at a first basketball shoe and a first signature basketball shoe for Xtep. I can't wait to see what they do with the JLin 2. That's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this. Also, please do hit that thumbs up button for the algorithm. You know, it really does help me out. Check out this video on my left, check out this video on my right, and that's pretty much it. Till next time, peace.